This is the Refuge Project.
This is the Refuge Project. And it's not so safe around here the last few weeks. Just letting you know.
I think it's been totally fine.
Totally? I don't know.
Definitely pushing the limits.
Okay, so I was sitting in the staff meeting this morning, and some of you might not know that I am a pastor.
Yeah.
I mean, just by the content we put out.
He's
sometimes.
the staff of the church. It's good stuff. Very
so I
useful
just
part.
wanted to start this podcast out by saying, listen, we started this podcast not to be like, when the idea came up, I was just like, I don't want to do another like Bible study podcast. I think there's a lot of those out there, and I listen to some of them, so I'm not saying that's not good. But we wanted to start something that was fun, that Christians could listen to, and then they they'd have to worry about turning the radio down or what radio.
Yeah.
Turning the volume down, the 8-track, turning it down when the kids are around the car and different things like that. So we just wanted to have some fun as Christians on the podcast that might or might not entertain you. So just to throw that out, there's some critical people out there. We're just here to have some clean fun for all the Christian peoples out there.
Amen.
You sound like you're defending stuff. Like
I'm defending myself. And I just say that because I got in my son's car yesterday.
Yeah. What's he driving these days?
Stop it.
What's he driving? What'd you get in? I'm trying to just picture you got in your son's car.
Yeah, just a little, little small, off-white car.
An off-white car?
Yeah, peanut butter goods.
Okay. You got in there.
And he had
all leather interior? I'm just trying to set the scene so we understand.
Just like a small, economy car.
You must have been pretty tight in there then, huh? If you were getting in that car. Jeez.
I'm losing weight, man. I'm slimming.
You are losing weight.
Slimming down.
I've seen your breakfast every Sunday. You bringing it with you.
See,
some eggs and sausage.
Yeah, trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, he had our podcast on.
Yeah, that's a good kid.
And
it's a good kid.
We're pretty ridiculous sometimes. I mean, we eventually get around to it.
I don't know what y'all are talking about, but I tell you what, I stand by anything and everything I've ever said for forever.
Wow.
I'll just say that.
I don't stand by what I said last week.
All of it. I don't think I've ever said anything wrong ever, and I probably never will. So I'll just stand by.
Can you imagine
that's all I wanted to say. All I wanted to say is I've never said anything wrong.
Your poor wife.
And I never will say it. That's all I wanted to say.
Listen, your wife is wrong all the time then.
We just don't talk.
I don't know. I just got convicted a little bit about some of the stuff. I mean, it wasn't bad at all. We wasn't being bad, but just maybe not the top of the Christian charts on the things that we're talking about.
We're not on the top of any charts, so I'm not worried about a single thing. Hey,
speaking of, shout out to Germany and Australia for coming in last week.
Who doesn't love Germany and Australia?
Somewhere else overseas, California coming in big like they always do. I don't understand that. Us in California, big. I don't know. I was just looking at some of the stats and
interesting.
Still hitting overseas.
So I don't know if you noticed, but my voice sounds a little ridiculous today.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's kind of sexy.
You like it?
Yeah, I do kind of like it.
I'm straight. Dude, I just started getting a cough last night for no particular reason, and then so now I've got a slight cough and my throat feels a little weird. But I found some tea in the kitchen in here. That what do you call it? Oolong? How do you say it? O-L.
Sounds way too fancy for me.
I already said I'm not helping anybody this week.
Well, I found some.
Y'all are on y'all's own.
Made me some tea, put a little bit of sugar in there. I put a splash of OJ to give it a little flavor.
Even when I was out here.
Oh, golly, David.
Sorry.
I'm turning you off.
Yeah, turn me off for a sec because I'm looking for something.
Anyway, this tea is working. It feels really nice on my throat. I like it.
That's good.
That's good.
I would have put some honey and some kind of acid in there, but I didn't see any honey in there. What kind of church we at? We ain't got no honey.
My honey's at home.
Hey, did you see that Caesar said, hey, can I hop on a phone call? Did you see that?
Sure.
I don't know how to do it. I don't remember how.
Just
There's a phone jack right here. I don't know if that helps with anything.
but just have him call you, and I think you can.
Put it on speak because I'm on the Bluetooth here.
Yeah, you can put it on Bluetooth.
Okay, I'll text him real quick. This might not work, y'all, but
We'll see how it goes.
we'll try it.
Hey, while we're doing that, if you like podcasts, there was a really good podcast that I listened to. It's called it's Lecrae's podcast, and he did it with Tori Kelly. Man, it was really, really good.
It's Lecrae's podcast.
Yeah, Tori Kelly was
she
the
was the
feature.
guest?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so go out and check it out. It's on Lecrae's YouTube channel. Really, 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 really good podcast. And then the week after that, he did The Professor, the basketball player.
one.
Yeah, yeah. So those two podcasts, I've listened to several, but those two in general were really good, I thought. And the other thing, let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. The Justin Bieber P. Diddy song. Have y'all heard this thing?
Is it brand new or is it old?
Here we go. That's Caesar. That's the Justin Bieber P. Diddy song. you heard this yet?
What was that?
Let's see. That's my phone because I'm trying to connect Caesar here. Caesar, say something. Oh, there you are.
Are we live? There we go. Are we live and ready to roll?
We're already rolling.
Yes.
We started rolling.
Nice.
So you're in. We're
Hey, well, I'm glad
you
I'm
sound,
glad I was able to dial in to the safest place in all of the world.
Yeah, David's talking us down. He said it's not safe. He's like, he prepared this whole big apology, public statement thing. I don't know what he's even talking about. He's been driving around in his son's Corvette or whatever he drives, just feeling guilty and ashamed. I don't know what's going on.
No, I just,
What year is the Corvette?
it's not a Corvette. Y'all not get me to say what kind of car he
Is it,
drives.
what
No.
is a Ferrari? What
No,
is it?
Stop it. Stop. Y'all always bait me into sounding like I'm like some prosperity preacher. And and I'm not that. I'm blessed, okay?
I mean, but peep the shoes though.
Yeah,
Stop. That was private.
he was bragging about
No,
Louis
stop.
Vuitton shoes he's got on
no.
right
I
now.
was bragging that I only paid $28 for $9,000 shoes.
Yeah, so
That's what I was bragging
So
about.
what? So you stole some shoes and you bragging
Yeah, I mean,
about-
you know, that bum won't, he won't miss them.
Okay. Oh,
Is that David Perez that I hear?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's
Nice.
David.
Yeah, I had
David.
to get him.
and James.
We had brought him in off the bench. You know, I didn't think he was going to make it, so we pulled him up from the minor leagues. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
So I was just
Yeah, you know.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I'm we're in Florida right now. I think it's Titusville is where I'm at, and I just wanted to call in real quick because everything, you know, Florida comes up quite a bit in our conversations here.
Yeah, good people.
And you know what? I can confirm it is all true.
Yeah, all of it. What have you been seeing?
It's all true. They got me down here for work. I won't go into all of that, but I'm here for a few days. And so first of all, the food is terrible. And yes, I've tried all the food.
Better or worse than San Antonio?
Oh, you know, like our last title suggested, you know, San Antonio, the food really is just okay. But, you know, it's really bad. I think I'm the only, and I have a theory. I think it's just because there's no Mexicans here.
Well, there's not, but there's brown people there.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, there's plenty of brown people, but they're like Cubans or
Right,
from
right,
some,
right.
you know,
You're not into the
random
sandwiches
island.
or what? Also, hey, for
No.
just to be fair, before we started this, David said, "Hey, Caesar said the food's no good here." He said, "I went to a McDonald's and they don't have a hot and spicy chicken." So to be
You
fair,
know, that was
Caesar's upset that there's no hot and spicy chicken in Florida. So that's his big food opinion so far.
you know, I was
You're at such a loss for words right now, and you are.
I'm about,
To be fair, this
about
is
to
what
go
Caesar's
off.
upset about. No hot and spicy chicken.
I just love that he called in from the source to like he's like a weather person in the middle of a hurricane. I'm down here in Florida.
I've got my fork and my knife, and there's no hot and spicy chicken.
He's like standing in a McDonald's, like the hand dryer with his hair blowing, like. Just to report in the storm, there's no hot and spicy.
Things are getting wild.
Great one, David. Great one. Hey,
I was working late. I was working late last night, and there's not a lot of options that are open, right? So, you can always trust on the good old American golden arches. And I was hoping that they would come through, that they would be clutch. So I pull into this driveway, to this drive-through window, and I'm yelling at this poor guy, we were talking about minimum wage the other day in New York or whatever, or California. So I don't know how much they make over here in Florida, but I would assume that the cost of living is very expensive over here. But anyway, I'm right there and I'm yelling at this poor guy, and I'm like, yeah, let me get a hot and spicy light mayo, right? And he's like, we don't have those options, sir. We only have the hot and crispy and whatever. And then I'm like arguing with the guy now. I was like, what do you mean you don't have hot and spicy?
You're McDonald's.
Don't you know where I'm from?
Jeez, no hot and spicy.
No hot and spices. And I had an out of body experience, and I just felt like I'm in the worst place in the world at that moment. And I know that's not the case. It's very dramatic, but maybe it has a lot to do with me just missing home. But yeah, it's just I think we're very blessed to live where we live, and shout out to all my Latinos out there, because you really make the world better.
Amen, brother. That's coming straight from God right there.
That's straight from the heart right there.
That was good stuff there. It is interesting the regional foods that they'll have and won't have at these common fast food places. When I was down by the border a couple months ago, whenever that was, I was having that whole fiasco. There was a Jack in the Box down there, and it had birria style meat. I think they made a burger out of it, but it was some kind of birria style something. I can't remember exactly what they called it, but birria was in the name, like birria tacos. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, because we're
so it must be good.
Well, I'm sure it was probably not that good, just because it was at Jack in the Box. It looked weird, but I was like, I've never seen this at Jack in the Box. This has got to only be down here in this heavier Hispanic area.
Jack in the Box has everything. Their egg rolls are actually pretty.
They're
good.
Pretty all right.
They're pretty okay.
They're
okay.
You know my go-to at Jack in the Box is
the cheesecake.
Cheesecake and an Oreo.
Hold on, let me guess. Let me guess. You open that up. You say your go-to. You strike me as a sourdough guy, but you're like, yeah, but no tomato though. I don't want any of that.
I do like the sourdough. That's me. But that's not my like. So if I'm eating dirty, like.
Not right now.
No, I'm not doing that right now. But I'll go ultimate cheese, no mayonnaise. That's what if I'm gonna eat a hamburger, that's what I'm gonna eat. I don't like McDonald's hamburgers. I don't like Sonic. And shout out to all the Whataburger people out there. I don't think their hamburgers are that good. But if you go there and you get the ultimate meat and cheese burrito, okay, no tortilla. Uh-huh. And then get you some cheddar peppers or whatever their version of those are.
The jalapeno peppers?
Oh,
my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Where's my button? Here.
So y'all having this party?
Everybody, Chevo just walked in the door.
Chevo, get your chair
man
over there.
himself.
Y'all can share some microphones. That's awesome.
No, and that's perfect. That's perfect because we're talking about fat boy things and, all things fat boys.
Oh, you can't hear Caesar right now. I'm sorry, dude.
Caesar's on the phone too. The boys are back in town.
Yeah, give me those headphones. We'll plug you back in.
Take that chair around there so you can reach.
What you missed was Caesar called you fat. That was what you missed.
Dang.
Yeah,
just slide over.
I said fat boy thing.
Okay, he called you. He said you're a boy as well.
Okay, we understand that you are in space right now.
Oh, the boy just grabbed the microphone. He said, "This is mine."
David, I need you to move, please.
Come on, dude. Can you hear? You got it? Nice. I want you to know, Chevo has been trying to pop in here for weeks now, apparently.
Weeks.
So I'm glad you finally showed up.
Yeah, ran ahead.
Talking to the mic, dude. You know how to do this.
And he popped in whenever you mentioned jalapeno poppers.
Yeah.
I was waiting out there.
Boy's dropping it like it's hot.
Oh.
It was like Beetlejuice. Whenever you say jalapeno poppers 3 times, he shows up.
Hey, no, I was literally out there for about a minute, and I was just waiting for the perfect time. And I was like, "Are they having a serious conversation? Are they not having a serious conversation? What's going on?"
It's always.
And all I heard was jalapeno poppers. I was like, "Nah, it's time for me to get in."
Chevo told me the other day. He said, "Yeah, I've been trying to finish up my work early so I can pop in to
exactly
to the
what
podcast."
happened.
And I said, but he kept not making it for whatever reason, so he keeps finishing his work early and then not showing up to the podcast.
I'm like spraying water at people's houses by now.
I said, dude, you're gonna end up getting you a raise just because you're getting all your work done early, just trying to get on this podcast.
And then I wasn't gonna come because my 12 o'clock customer is like, "Hey, I'm running early. Can you meet me early?" And I was like, "Well, let me check." And then I looked at David's his Life 360 because we share our location. I was like, "Oh, well, David's at church, and that means they're doing the podcast." And I'm gonna.
Chevo's like, "This ain't going down.
This ain't not on my watch." I was like, "That's twice in a row that you on the podcast, and I'm over here just minding my own business."
Well, some people have to work. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's true, and it's
true.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, when you're out there helping people that are, can't work, and then you're just trying to help them pay their taxes and all that stuff.
Need I remind you, my foot is fractured right now. I'm in a boot. I would love to work, I just can't.
Well, no one told you to go up for that layup, so that's all I can say.
Airball.
Hey, Chevo.
Yes, sir.
Does your pest company get rid of termites?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, you got termites?
No, not me. But my dad's got them. They're coming
Again?
back. He keeps seeing them swarming.
It's that season.
Yeah, he's nervous
that
about
season that a lot of people were getting.
Hey, Chevo.
Yeah,
I forgot he was here.
I forgot. I thought he was in space already.
Go ahead,
Chevo,
Caesar.
does your pest company get rid of terrible food? Because if so, you need to come to Florida.
Okay, hey, but did you? Okay, besides McDonald's, where did you
Yeah,
go?
did you try anywhere else?
No,
For
that's
you.
exactly what I texted him yesterday. It's like, dude, you got per diem. Quit being cheap. Go anywhere else. He's
McDonald's is the worst. Unless you're getting a breakfast sandwich. Like, what are you doing there? The only people that go there after 10:30 are kids.
It's true.
Well,
And
I
Caesar
was
in
working
Florida.
late,
Yeah.
and plus where I'm at in Florida is not really the touristy places, and so I mean, even so, Orlando is an hour away, Daytona is an hour away, so if you want mediocre food, you have to drive an hour away. If you want terrible food, then you go to McDonald's where you're at.
Nice.
Is there not?
No, but there's like no local eateries, and I'm over here looking at all the message boards and stuff, like where do locals like to eat in this place? And then everybody's just like, well, it's not my first choice, but it's decent food. The views are good, as if that changes. But it's all like that. So I'm about to go try this Thai restaurant that was recommended by the locals, not like on TripAdvisor
It's
or
not gonna
whatever.
be good,
So
dude. I
I
can
don't know.
already
No,
tell
it's-
you.
I'd rather opt in for the view than eat a chicken sandwich from McDonald's.
Probably.
I don't know. Dude, you're getting Thai food there, bro. It's not going to be good. You need to just go get you some kind of seafood, something.
Is there a huge Thai influence?
I don't
in
eat
Florida?
fish.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's
But
not
why
going to
not?
be good.
Yeah, Caesar doesn't eat fish. Hey, but you said that the locals are letting you know. Is the local the Florida man, or what are we looking at?
Nah, just message boards online. Things like the Yelp reviews and Reddit and stuff where people post that this is the place to eat.
Well, good luck. I don't think it's going to be good, but good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
I hope it's amazing.
Ever heard of Uber Eats to have him deliver it to the hotel? I mean, Pastor David.
No, I'm tired of being at the hotel, man. It's just
if you need money, just let us know. We'll pick up an offer and send it your way.
Something down there,
Pastor,
man.
you know, he doesn't have to pay the country club fee this week or whatever.
I'm gonna take one of those Cuban car boats. I'm gonna take one of those Cuban car boats back home, man.
When are you coming home anyway?
Never.
Great question.
It's kind of up in the air right now, but we'll see.
Okay, all right.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. You should have had one of those. Yeah.
Anyway, well, it seems like y'all got a full boat there. I just wanted to call in with my Florida weather food update, but I can confirm right now it is all true. Whenever we bring up Florida, and I will let you know. Hopefully, in the course of this podcast, I will text either James or David about the quality of that Thai food.
Yeah,
but
the world wants to know, Caesar. We want to know. Everybody wants to know.
You know, if we really want to change Florida, we need more Mexicans. I just that's where we can put them.
Hey, maybe that's why God called you there so you could start something.
Listen, they're immigrating. Okay,
that's true. Is immigrating a word?
Immigrating? What would it be?
I don't know.
I
guess it is.
They're immigrating.
It just sounds wrong when you say it for some reason. I don't know.
See, that boy around here, Democrat, can't say immigrating.
Immigrating. They're migrating. That's the word.
Migrating.
Yeah, they're not immigrating. You said it with so much confidence, you got me thinking. I was like, maybe it is immigrating.
Migrating sounds like ducks.
Well, okay, they're people, David. These are real people, but they.
Man, I started this thing with so much.
I know. Immigrant root word is migrate. Yeah, it's definitely
this
migrate.
dude's just going English class on me.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Pastor. Thanks for calling in. We love you.
I love you guys. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye. Immigrating.
Now that
you got to sound it. Now you should apologize to people for immigrating. That's saying some Latinos crazy stuff like that.
Y'all know I love all the Latinos.
And you do.
True.
I love that you always throw in O's as in the male.
Yeah. You know all of them. Anyways,
Chevo, I feel like I haven't seen you in years.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mexicans.
Yeah, speaking of
Mexicans.
We got
that boy is so Mexican, he goes to Mexican church now.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. He does.
So, I would have seen, I don't know if you did you end up going to Centerville this past weekend?
I didn't. I think my parents definitely did.
I showed up, but I showed up in Mexican time. So I literally showed up after the party started, which was awkward.
I don't even know what the party was.
It was Wyatt's first birthday.
That's what it was.
I got him a little, what is it, the Red Ryder daisies, the little BB
The BB gun? That's a nice one.
And then Miranda was like, he already has a 22. I was like, okay, I get it. That Greg.
Boy's a regnet.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
1 year old, 22.
Little 22.
Name's Wyatt. Come on,
Wyatt.
dude, look out. You don't think a guy named Wyatt has a gun?
Wyatt has a gun.
And then he has a little pocket knife with his name like engraved in it and everything. So I think that's kind of cool. Because Austin, that's one of Austin's collection is to pick up.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was a party going on, or maybe somebody told me and I just forgot. I don't know. I only know because I borrowed. Oh, that's what it was. The same day my brother-in-law, so Tara's younger brother, he's getting married in like a month, and they had their wedding shower over the weekend, so we had to go to that. And I borrowed some chairs from my dad, and I'm pretty sure he definitely stole them accidentally from the school district. I'm not really sure why he still has these chairs, but he kept borrowing these old choir chairs for random stuff. And, he retired like a year ago, and he just still has the chairs. And I think he just realized after the fact, like, oh, I still have these chairs. Yeah, whatever.
What about
I think that was it. So anyway, I was borrowing the chairs and I was returning them late Saturday night. I texted my dad and say, hey, I'm going to come bring these chairs by. It was like 8:30. I was going to be there a little after 9 o'clock. I said, I'm going to come drop these chairs off real quick. I'll be there in like 40 minutes.
I'm sorry. So you borrowed stolen chairs?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's not felony.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Hey, maybe he didn't. You know what? He didn't steal these chairs. There's no way he stole these chairs.
I plead the fifth.
I don't imagine he bought them from the school, but anyway, so I say I'm gonna bring these chairs back by, and he goes, he like immediately calls me, and he's a little worked up. You could tell, and he's like, "When you coming by?" And I was like,
"With my chairs, punk."
No, I said I'm on. Well, I'm leaving League City, so I'm on my way right now. So probably like 40 minutes, I'll be there. And he's like, "Well, all right, just let me know when you get here, because
I feel like your dad was punking you."
No, dude, he was all upset because apparently he had just found out that somebody had tried to steal
the car.
Yeah,
the
they
truck.
tried to steal the truck, and so he's all worked up. So now he's thinking like he's on watch now.
This dude's
you know
going straight up like WWE.
Yeah,
he needs his chair so he can slam them.
Yeah, right.
He pops out the garage.
Chairs.
Wow!
Yeah,
goes Triple H on him.
I could picture him being like a wrestler back in the 90s.
Oh yeah, you know he is
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah, my dad's got that.
Him and Hacksaw Jim Duggan tag team.
But so they like messed up the steering wheel and the lock on the door because they were trying to hotwire it. So that car's a little messed up. His old truck, like a few days before that, I had to go help him.
That was
I called you whenever that was. Yeah, because
didn't fit on the trailer. Take him out. Yeah.
Yeah. So that truck's down. It broke down. We towed that home, and then that truck, the other truck, I just told you it's a little messed up because they tried to hotwire it, and then my mom's car, the last car that they have, it was overheating.
Oh man.
So I'm like returning the chairs, and he's telling me, he's like, then we would go all the way to Centerville today, and now the car's overheating on the way back, and then my truck's still not working.
He's like, all my cars don't work. I want my chairs back.
None of them work. He's like, none of them work.
Dude, my highlight of my day is to have the conversation with your dad on Sunday morning.
Yeah. Well, that was why I knew that there was a party, because he's like, I'm coming back from Centerville, now the car's overheating, everything's broken, all my vehicles are broken.
And it was bad over there, because as we were going over there to 45, up 45, there was a lot of the feeders that were like underwater. I told Julia, look. So it was kind of, I was a little nervous going over there. When we left, we spent the night Saturday, came back Sunday first in the morning. That does not make sense. Yeah, we came back first thing in the morning. Nice. And there was a puddle on Highway 7, which I thought it was a puddle, but as I went through it, I was like, that was a little high. And then there was a sheriff right behind me. Then he stopped and then just turned on his lights, because it was about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning when we left, because we had to be here in Spanish service early. Yeah. So that's where I've been. When you text me about, hey, if you want to come by, let me know, I was literally thinking, I was like, man, James is texting me to run the Sound First service, and I can't do it no more. So,
nah, it's okay.
Well, now you know where I've been at for the past month and a half.
So tell us about the Spanish service. Why don't you do that?
So the Spanish service...
tell us in Spanish.
No, don't do it. Well, I mean, I guess you can.
So, ¿dónde está la biblioteca?
Yeah. Oh, no, your English is way better. Go ahead.
Even my Spanish. So the Spanish service is growing. Julie and I, we've been there for a little over a month and a half now. We just got word that we got a pastor that's going to be there for 6 months and see how he kind of plays out. And then if he's good, then they're going to keep him. Depending on if he does decide to say, I guess I don't know if I'm supposed to tell anybody or not, but we might end up staying a little bit longer than what we predicted, and probably potentially just moving the whole family to the Spanish service for a good while. But it's kind of cool. Julie and I grew up in a Spanish church, so she led worship since she was 13. I was her little drummer boy in the back. So I remember when we left there and came over here to the English service, I didn't like Julie singing English, because I was like, I was so used to hearing her all these years.
All of
Spanish.
us like the English part.
Right.
Yeah, we like that.
And then now that she's singing Spanish, I don't like it.
It's kind of exciting whenever she throws in the Spanish.
Oh yeah, that's always good.
Which she should. Their Mother's Day that they're going to be doing a full song. Julie's going to do a full song in Spanish, because we're inviting the Spanish service over here, and then she'll do a bilingual.
Can we make sure that we get those lyrics early? Well, because last time we had the Spanish, but we didn't have the English. So when we was going back and forth, we didn't have. Anyways, that's not this podcast's issue.
That's Pastor Caesar.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to him.
He's in Florida.
Never mind. Yeah, he's in Florida.
He's
eating terrible food.
He's over there eating terrible food.
He's probably got that Thai stuff in his mouth.
Yeah, so we're super excited about what's going over there in the Spanish ministry. I think this is a new way that we're relaunching this church. We kind of did it a little bit different last time. So we got some new ideas and launching it, and we're super excited about having you and your family, literally you and your family.
Right.
The new pasture that we're putting over there is part of your family.
Yes.
So that's exciting. So we're waiting to see how we can grow this thing and just really kind of be more connected this time and do some great things. So.
Which is fun because it's my brother-in-law and he's from Costa Rica. And the story that I like to share is that he had a chance to try out and play professional soccer for Costa Rica.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, I remember growing up seeing him when we used to play soccer, him being an older guy, and he just kind of just dribbles through like if nothing, just gliding through the field. But it is a family thing. Him being the pastor, my sister-in-law Lisa being his wife, and then Julie and I, and then my sister Maggie and her husband Juan. He's helping out in the bass. My sister Maggie's helping out with the projectors, and then we got the boys playing, and then my niece singing. So it's pretty cool.
Pastor Caesar's his parents over there
are helping out too.
Awesome.
So it's slowly growing. We're in between the 28 to 35. On a Sunday now.
Yeah.
We had a meeting Sunday after church, or Sunday evening with Miguel, and he's like, "Hey, Chubb, I need you to start promoting, help me promoting." So I got some ideas of what we need to do. So hopefully, maybe do an event outside and just kind of have everyone out there, and then just trying to promote the Spanish ministry. So it's interesting and it's fun. A little nervous because Julie and I have been here for going on 13 years, and from where we first started to where we are now, and having great mentors as you, Pastor David, Calvin, Steve, all the guys that pour into my life. It's kind of interesting that how I do ministry, how I do my work is a little bit of y'all, a little bit of Pastor Arnulfo, a little bit of you, a little bit of Pastor Caesar, a little bit of everyone that's poured into my life a lot.
Yeah.
And so
and we're super proud of you guys, man. We really are. And it's awesome when you want to start a ministry that you're able to look around and find families like yours, and just pluck them out and just put them over there, and makes things a whole lot easier, And that's what church is about. That's what church is about. So awesome! I'm excited about it.
Me too.
I'm super excited about it. Because I love the Latinos.
Latinos. And we're having I don't know. We're gonna have a potluck, and so we're like, I looked at the list and I'm seeing all these Mexican food out there. I was just like,
hey, shout out! Let me know when y'all do that. I'm gonna come over there soon. I'm trying to be the ambassador between the two churches, right? Oh, yeah. So that way we make sure that. The last time we kind of got split up, so we're just really trying to make sure we connected at this time. Like y'all coming over on the major events like Mother's Day, they'll be over here on this side and do that. So we just want to make sure there's a connection. But I'm really there just for the food.
Really there.
That checks out.
Yeah, for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'm there. They have sweet bread in the morning. I'm waiting for someone to show up, like Caesar's grandma or someone to show up with like tacos in the morning. Yeah, I'll save some for you.
Yeah, just text me. I'll swing by.
Hot take. You ready?
They need me over there.
You ready for the hot take?
What's that?
Sweet bread?
Yes.
Overrated.
No, I'm leaving.
Overrated.
Wait,
overrated, dude. It's all dry.
No, sir.
It's not actually that great.
Okay, listen.
You ready?
I love the Latinos.
You ready?
But
that's the hot take.
I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, where's my buttons, dude? Give me overrated, dude. Look, the breakfast tacos are so good, and then you bring in this mediocre dry bread. It really brings everything down.
Well, there's a spot here in Pasadena, though.
But is it sweet?
Yeah. And
wait, is it sweet?
It's sweet.
Well, that's
some
all
of them are.
The sweet bread, not the bread tastes great bread. It's just sweet bread. So your hot take is now cold.
They're only advertising their sweet bread.
No, nobody hyped up the sweet bread right now.
He just did. He said we got sweet bread.
Wait, so he's the one that said I'm about it.
So it depends where you go. Here in Pasadena, there's a place called El Bolillo. It's probably the best. I literally
is that the place off of Southmore?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
That big drug covered thing over there.
That's pretty much what it is.
I know.
Yeah.
I leave.
There's no way that you can sell that much sweet bread and have a building that looks like Scarface house.
I kid you not. We went Sunday after church, and they have a thing called Pan Bolillo, and it was like we couldn't even park. Because the Mexicans, once it starts raining, they start getting their little hot chocolate going. They get their coffee going, and they just buy like bags. I bought.
I'm into the hot chocolate.
$45 worth of sweet bread.
I like the Mexican hot chocolate.
$45 worth of sweet bread.
$45 worth of sweet
For
bread.
who?
It's a lot
For you?
For me, Miguel. We had a meeting, so that was what I was bringing.
Dang.
But they have like
Y'all better take up some serious offerings. Y'all spending $45 on some sweet bread.
That came out of David's.
But
no,
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's overrated.
No, you know what's overrated is the tamales, though. Because
Just
tamales,
in general?
Wait,
tamales
slow down. Tamales are overrated?
Being sold in those Mexican, like the Mexican sweet bread.
Now the prices are overrated, for sure.
They're overrated too. But it's like, I've had a couple of tamales, and it's like, people are just being cheap.
You haven't had my mother-in-law's tamales. That's
what they always say. That's what everybody says.
My mother-in-law is the best cook ever.
No. I'm telling you.
That's what they all say.
I've had them all. I mean, you can ask my kids. My kids go around and like, if it barbecue, if it ain't like Uncle Patrick's, they're gonna let you know.
Uncle Patrick, yeah.
If it ain't like your grandma's tamales, they're gonna let you know. But if they are, they were like, these taste like grandma's tamales, you know. So I mean,
they probably got a good opinion.
So I'll be there for Christmas.
It's the love.
I'll be over for Christmas.
You have to have love in your hand to have a good tamale. If you don't have no love, this is the difference between good tamales.
Too.
This is the difference between good tamales and then like tamales that are overrated. Tamales that are overrated are the ones on the corner that they're just trying to sell. Like, hurry up. The ones that like the grandma makes for her family, that she takes time and she gets her hands in the, what do you call the dough?
The masa.
The masa, and then she puts love in it and all the spices and all the stuff that has been passed down from generation to generation. That's the ones that are good.
Yeah, but not everybody has that kind of plug, though. You see, like, a lot of people have to go out and buy their tamales. So that's why tamales are overrated.
Yeah, that's why I don't have to see. But but we're gonna get them a couple times a year.
In Florida.
My sister right now is thinking,
H-E-B,
HEB tamales are good. HEB tamales.
They're not bad.
No, they're not bad. They're just okay. for $7 for half a...
For $7 out of a HEB, they're not bad.
They're not bad. I've gone...
They're not grandma.
They're not grandma. They're not that. They're not dry.
I've had worse on the street.
Me too.
I've had worse out of a taco stand.
I've had worse for people that bring to here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the best one. My grandma made us. Grandma needs to stop cooking.
All right, hey James, let's jump right into Culture Corner. All right, I got a Culture Corner for y'all.
Tell me about it.
There's a new song going around, and I want to play for you. Hide your kids, hide your wife. This is Justin Bieber. I know that we just talked about, a lot of things going on, but I want you to hear this song. It's about his experience with P. Diddy.
Okay. Let's hear
You
it.
did that talk that it cleared again. Cause lately your compliments are giving me scared. Looking bone up just in your things, I suppose. But the wink you throw, build that cross some serious bros. Saying you intended swag as if on your mark. Cause your heels like it's glow in the dark shots. Thoughts all the cologne. Be a bathing cologne. Starting desperate like a yacht all alone. Anything, I bump the brakes a bit. These compliments are creepy. Like a spider in the net. You hold my career, that's true. I always let the past go back up with the black rocks. Just making the headlines blast. Mistaking my headlines blast.
All right. The wrong song.
Are you serious? And we listened to the whole thing?
That was just like 40 seconds of it.
Yeah, I was like, what's the...
I was like, did he just diss Diddy?
Oh yeah, this is definitely a
Did
diss
he?
song.
Is it? I don't know.
All right, let's see if this was it. Let's see if this was it.
I don't wanna talk about Diddy tonight. Just wanna sing and feel alright.
I don't know. Let's say. Where is this song?
Well, he mentioned Diddy there,
I've been
right?
patient, patiently waiting. I've been faking for a long time. And now I want you. Ooh,
He's singing about Diddy?
I want you.
I don't think...
Oh,
Wait, you said it at that point in the song.
What is going on, dude?
now I want you.
I can't find the song.
He was the one before this. He was talking about Diddy.
Yeah. That's all these are he's talking about. All of them.
All of them. He's talking about Diddy. I want you. He's talking about Diddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so confused.
Allegedly, P. Diddy made him sign.
Anyways, man, what is it? Where is this song?
So are you gonna edit this part out?
No.
No.
I'm gonna let everybody know. This is David's prep. This is what he's got rocking. I mean, we listen to the whole song. He says wrong one. He pulls up the one, literally says Diddy in the thing, and he says that ain't
So
it. Then brings up another one.
you want to tell us why you're bringing this up?
Yeah, what's going on?
So, why I'm bringing this song up is because you heard two different Justin Bieber songs, right?
We heard 3.
Well, you heard 3, and
It's more Bieber than I think I've ever listened to.
right, and they're all like dissing Bieber. But guess what? I mean, those songs were like very well produced, right?
Yeah.
That was AI generated.
I was gonna ask.
Oh, really?
I was gonna ask.
That's funny.
So Justin Bieber.
Now I get it.
Yeah. So like, this is like scary. What's going on?
Well,
right
no,
now.
it's not, because those songs weren't making any sense to me. So that makes more sense now.
Yeah, but because they're trying to produce something that's, very controversial right now, not a real song. You know what I mean? But just like there was one that Drake did, and it was just like it hit the charts, and then Drake came out and it was just like, hey man, that's not me.
Yeah.
So when, as a music guy, when are y'all irrelevant?
I ain't worried about it. I think I've talked about this before. All of these, this kind of stuff has happened over and over and over for forever.
Not like this.
That's what everybody says the whole time.
Not like this.
And
like,
it's
you
true.
can just like play write Drake song about Diddy or whatever, and then
it does it.
It sounds just like well produced.
Yeah. All right, back in the early 1900s, they first started inventing the synthesizers, and everybody said, that's it. You don't need musicians anymore. We've got synthesizers now. You can program them to do this and that and that. And obviously that's not what happens. They use synthesizers now, but you still have guitarists, you still have violinists, you still have all those people.
Yeah.
And then I'll keep going, dude. Let me finish it. And then later on, you get in like the 70s and stuff, they start making drum machines. They say, yo, we don't need drummers anymore. We got drum machines. And, you had all the techno, you had all the hip-hop stuff coming in the late 80s. And they said, we don't need drummers anymore because we got these drum machines and they do it better. And obviously you still use drum machines and stuff, but there's still drummers out there. It's just a new tool that people use. Just like the synthesizer is a new tool that people use. They got digital recording where you could edit stuff. You could quantize things. So if you played a little bit too soon, a little bit too late, you could line it up to the grid, and people said, man, we don't need musicians anymore. We can just type this all in and fix perfect performances. And that's also not been the case. You do that some, but it's just a tool that people use. I can keep going. I'm going to stop. But that's what I think the AI is going to be.
So I agree all the way up to a point where AI is actually becoming a thing, right?
Yeah.
Because all of those things just made the artist better.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I think AI
just help. They're all tools making the producer and all those guys make their jobs a little bit easier, making sure that everybody's on beat, making sure that you're in on the right key.
But that's not how they started.
Right.
When they first started, everybody said, "That's it."
Right.
No more of this other stuff.
So when that happens, that's their tools. Now, what is music ran on? It's ran on industry to create money. Right? So when a record company says, I can sign Drake for $500 million, or I can make the next Drake from AI from my, $1,000 laptop, when it sounds exactly the same, and you can always reproduce the song that you want over and over again and not have to worry about the creativity of whatever artist.
Well, I think in that scenario, I don't think they figured it out yet, but you're going to come into some kind of copyright, some kind of, I don't know what the correct legal term would be, but if I'm Drake and you're saying I'm just going to use an AI Drake and make money.
No, you don't want to call him Drake. You call him, Drippy or something.
Yeah, but it's
Drippy Smooth, little Drippy Smooth.
But it's still like
it's not Fruit Loops, it's Fruity O's.
Dr. Pepper is Dr. Thunder.
Yeah,
or you just create some artist, that is not anything, and then just have these.
And people will do it, and it'll be okay. But it'll be the same thing. It's just like mediocre techno music, mediocre hip hop, mediocre pop music. It'll be the same thing.
Yeah, there still has to be influence, and there still has to be what the people like, and
because it is easier to make the music, but it's still tough to make a good song.
Yeah. But I think AI's like doing it quicker and faster than a human.
Yeah,
they could like produce hits all day, every day.
Yeah, but I still think these creative arts. It's not the same. I think there will be a place for it. I think it'll just be a tool like anything else. So maybe use the AI. You say, I want to make a song that's like Drake mixed with this, mixed with that. And then AI will give it to you. And then you'll use that maybe as just inspiration to make your own thing. Or maybe you take the melody it created and then make other stuff with it. Good. Or you just you say, hey, I need some lyrics about this. And then it produces you lyrics for that. And then you kind of tweak it to your own. It'll just be a tool that people use.
Yeah, I think what David said is something that's important. That you still have to have influence. Yeah. Right. Social media influence, all those things to really drive sales. You have to be out there doing concerts and being in the public eye and social media and those type of things.
Yeah, especially in the streaming world, you don't make money off of streaming, so. You make money because people streamed your song, they like your song, now they want to go see you live, and they want to buy a T-shirt at your show and that kind of stuff. So if it's all AI,
right? And that's the thing that really I think that you'll see record companies push more towards AI because you're not making the money. They're not making the money on touring. Mm-hmm. That's the artist is making the money on touring. They're making the money on the song.
Well, the record labels just aren't making money anymore. That's why you have less and less. Stuff. So, and I'm not really worried about the record labels. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean everybody has a studio in their house now.
Also, just side note, Caesar just texted us, said Thai spot is delicious, but it's in an area of color. That's why. That's what he said.
What does that even mean?
It means
what color?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he doesn't think Italians can make good food. I guess he doesn't think French people can make good food. I guess he doesn't think. We'll hold it together. Hold it together. He must hate Cajun food. Anyway,
yeah. So I mean, I think it's interesting because I've heard the one I was listening to was really, really good and was just talking about him being at Diddy's house.
See, but those ones sounded just so generic and uninteresting to me. But they did sound, quote, good, but it was generic. So all the AI stuff, it's only going to produce things based off whatever you put into it.
And that's the other thing that, I mean, I guess eventually when AI gets good, I mean, they can like create off of a future. But right now they're taking a little bit from everything that's already done. So to really push the limits, you're going to need AI to be even really better than it is now, or you're going to have a super creative person, that like you see in a Drake or a Kanye West or someone like that that's willing to push the limits of sound.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not worried about it. It's just another tool.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. I mean, you're seeing it in more than just music. You're seeing it within the cars. You're seeing it within robots in the workplace and different things like that. They got McDonald's that has like one or two employees that, like robots are doing everything. And then when they continue to put AI in there, there's going to be less and less of that. So I think in the future it's going to look like, definitely a different place. So, and then maybe even like on the music side of it, maybe like instead of world tours, like you have a stage set up in Las Vegas somewhere, and then you just stream to Tokyo and stream to the UK and different things like that on a like Here we go. Y'all both looking at me like, leave him out the hologram. You know, hologram out there on the stage where you're not having to spend hundreds of $1,000s in touring and shipping stuff all over the world.
Dude, if they ever get the virtual reality stuff happening good enough.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've already done this to some extent where they'll have like a comedian or they'll have some kind of performer do a virtual reality show. So you'll put on your Oculus or whatever, and then you can go to any world you want, right? But the performer will be like, yeah, come here at this time, and it'll be like a virtual comedy club or a virtual whatever, and you'll be in this virtual world with all these other people that are in there virtually, and you'll have the performer performing live in front of you, quote unquote, but in a virtual reality. Yeah, and I could see musicians doing stuff like that too.
UFC's working on it right now.
Yeah. Especially if you're like leaning into the AI thing. Yeah. You have AI creating songs. You just, have them put on some virtual concerts. That would be interesting.
It's pretty wild. Yeah. The way Dana White was saying it is you're basically at the fight. Mm-hmm. You could be sitting next to a celebrity or something like that. So if you want to like sit next to a celebrity, your tickets would be higher. And then at times like the celebrity would put the glasses on and you could like interact.
Like the actual celebrity will?
Yeah, you could interact them within the show. So you'll be sitting next to them, and then throughout the show, the celebrity would put the glasses on, and y'all would interact with each other and different things like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Like, I know it's probably going to happen, but I don't know, something about the interactive experience with a real human being right in front of you.
So there's some people that are really into the AI stuff, of the virtual reality stuff. I was listening to some comedians. What's the Tony
Brian Redband?
Redband. He was talking about.
Yeah, he's super into it.
Yeah, he was like he goes to like clubs and bars and like there's like a whole like community of his friends that exist inside of this virtual reality that they go and sit down and have drinks and stuff together, and it was just wild. But he's at home, but he has this whole community he's chilling with.
But it's like he's with real people. They're all at their home too. But they're interacting. It's like because that's in the gamer world, right? Like growing up, we'd play like Xbox Live or whatever PlayStation version, and it was the same kind of a thing, except you just had a headset on and you could just hear them. It was like you were all on a phone call. It wasn't. So it's just
kind of like how Caesar did.
Yeah, except better. But but that kind of virtual reality, like you just described, is basically the same thing, except for they just kind of kicked it up a notch. Where now you can see their avatar right in front of you, and you can talk to them. Like,
I think it's going to be really wild. I'm sorry, I'll let you go. I think it's going to be really wild when the avatar really look like humans. Right now, you're like a
I'm
the Nintendo Wii
Rhino.
avatar.
Yeah, purple rhino with a horn or something like that, which doesn't make it as, real. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say there's something different with like, going out with your Oculus for drinks with somebody that's like 100,000 miles away. Yeah, that like that's great for that purpose. But I'm talking about
or you meet your girlfriend there.
It'll happen.
And I'm sure it will, and that's great for those kind of interactions. But I'm talking about in the context of like, you're paying money to go to a UFC fight or to a basketball game. Yeah, like it's different. It's a whole different experience. Yeah. We talk about this with like online church, right? There's people that watch it online, but we always say like it's different whenever you're like inside the church.
The first church that pulls that off.
Oh, a virtual reality church.
Yeah. Hey. Maybe an Elevation or somebody like that has a bunch of money that pulls something like that off. You can
that's pretty wild. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
But I see this just like the AI thing like I was talking about. Like people will present it like it's a whole new world. It's taken over. This is how everything's going to be from now on. And I mean, occasionally in history they're right, but usually it's just kind of like a blending of this new thing with the old thing. And, so I think you'll still have both. You'll definitely going to have people that want to be there in the arena. It's not like if they start selling virtual tickets to a basketball game, nobody's come to the basketball game ever anymore. You're still going to have people going to the game. But then now there's another experience that you can opt into doing it virtually. And,
And I think like, think about places like Houston where you have so many transplants. Like if you're from Chicago, but you still like Chicago basketball, So you get to maybe still experience going to the Chicago games or whatever through that or something like that.
Or even just the sporting events where, it's the game and
the
they
World
can only sell
Series
so
or
many
something
tickets.
like that.
Now everybody can kind of experience in a certain way.
There's like what you're saying, there's really no substitute for like physical interaction with people.
That's why I don't think it'll totally go away, because people, they present AI stuff, they present all this new technology like it's going to totally get rid of whatever humanity is, and you're going to be in this, and I don't know. I mean, maybe way off in the future, but I think it's just going to be. I think it's just going to be like an added-on thing that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like when how the news and stuff for so long was giving us, their agenda and all those things, that now people are starting to wake up to, hey, this is just an agenda. This is not like real, reporting and real journalism. And so people are now like seeking out the truth and finding, different outlets of people that are just reporting facts. And I think that you're probably right that people will be seeking out more. Hey man, let's meet at the beach, or let's meet at the local whatever, and really seek that out, because the inner desire of us is created for interaction with one another, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting thought, but you always hear the smart people. Which they say the smart people like Zuckerbergs and all those guys that are actually working on AIs, and even Elon Musk that says that, if we're not careful, that they can be smarter than us and take over and those type of things. So I don't know, kind of interesting to see where we go. And then to your point, like when we were kids, you had George Jefferson, right? So. And we're living in those days, which they thought, right? And it doesn't look like what they thought the future would look like.
People almost never guess 100%.
Yeah.
You're not going to. There's too many unknown variables.
Wait, did you say George Jefferson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was talking about the Jetsons.
That's the other way, right? George Jefferson.
I thought you were saying like we're George Jefferson and they're going to the Jetsons.
David had this look on his face. I thought he was about to say something profound, and it was just like.
Sometimes you just gotta let him ride.
Everybody in podcast land, they're used to it now.
Yeah. They all knew he meant the Jetsons.
Sandra, when I'm preaching, Sandra goes, "Man, I know what you was trying to say, but I sure hope the rest of
you're out there spitting false doctrine."
Yeah, I like it.
Oh man, Tommy came up to me one time. He goes, "Man, I love the way you preach. You're just like Pastor Keeney." He goes, "Y'all get y'all's words all mixed up."
So patronizing, just like
yeah, thanks, Tommy.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute seeing you try to preach up there. You're just getting it all mixed up. Good try.
All right, y'all got a song?
Oh yeah, we had a song. Why don't you tell us about this song?
So this song I just came across randomly, and I'm not the biggest Lauren Daigle fan, but I think the song was pretty good. These Are the Days with Lauren Daigle featuring Blessing Offer. I think that's how you say it.
Speaking of producing hits, Lauren Daigle.
Is what we came for. Oh,
so that's it. What's y'all's reactions?
The beginning of it was real good.
Yeah,
it's kind of a nice groove, and then the bass line comes in, and a different sound from Lauren Daigle than we've heard before. So I think that was cool. I was just telling David while it was playing that he really has a T-Pain feel to him without the auto tunes.
Yeah,
when T-Pain really sings it. If you don't know, T-Pain can really sing.
Yeah, get that. Was it Georgia? He's from Atlanta.
Yeah,
got that Georgia sing.
Yeah, I think he had a Tiny Desk concert like years ago, and that was the first time that I actually heard him sing. I was like, wow, he has pipes.
Yeah.
That's not just
Auto-tune's another good example of it.
Yeah,
nobody has to sing anymore now. We got auto-tune. It's just an effect. It's an interesting tool to use.
If you used it right. I mean, I guess he made a whole career off of it, but Offer, what's his first?
Blessing
Offer.
I think
Blessing
know.
Offer.
It's we
brought it to the podcast maybe a year and a half ago or something like that when he first started popping.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. It was definitely a good song. Roll your windows down, turn it up. Cruising down the drive. Driving down the street, knocking pictures off your wall.
Cruising in
they do that in your neighborhood?
Nah.
What kind of cars Luke got? What are we cruising in?
You know what they cruise in my neighborhood? It's those side by sides with the loud loudspeakers on them. That's the only thing. Yeah. And it's funny. It's funny seeing these like rednecks, right, playing bumping like hardcore rap music. It's so funny, man.
Oh yeah, man.
In their Jesus sandals and socks,
and the little golf
polo.
Yeah. I'm telling you, these kids, dude. These kids.
All right. Last week, man, we seen a pastor that had so much grace, shut his whole service down, and just kind of leaned into what was going on in his church. He had a man there that had been living on the streets for a while, said that he was going to kill himself, and then one of the people from his church was actually feeding one of the homeless ladies. Didn't get a chance, but ended up having an encounter with this guy, brought him to church, and he started speaking out. And the pastor just did an amazing job, just kind of leaning into it, using that as an opportunity to share with his congregation what Jesus looks like, right? This week, we see the exact opposite of that.
Ooh.
This week we have, and this is all allegations at this point, but things don't look good. Okay, I got some notes here so I don't forget about what I wanted to talk about. But this is a pastor. This past week that he was at his church, and he preached a message to his church, and then at the end of the message, he makes this announcement of, "Hey, I got an announcement for everybody." Okay, and then I'm going to play this, and it's just kind of weird how it all goes down, and then we'll talk about some of the details.
Years now, they just do this. Their phone rings, and they put up their ear.
So this first part of it is him wrapping his message up, okay? And this is Pastor John Paul from Solid Rock Church.
What is it? And it's the answer to their miracle. Whatever the results to the test came back. We were so sorry. We got it wrong. You don't have cancer. Or the lottery. You just won the lottery. Whatever it is, come through. And your relative says, "God, this is amazing. Why would you do this for me?" And God says, "I love you. But I didn't do this for you." You see, 300 years ago, your great grandparents were listening to this tall, charming, humble pastor, and he told them that if they'll give their life to Christ, that God won't just take care of them, he'll take care of the ones that come after him. And so I love you, but I didn't heal you for your sake. I did it because of the promise I made to them 300 years ago. That's what I want you to leave here with. Okay, amen.
All right, now he's going to kind of go into his special announcement. That was just the end of his.
We're not going to do an altar call today.
His message.
Instead, I'm going to have you stand up, and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give. For the next, little bit. 'Cause I don't want to have. I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks. I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina, and we're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can. Yeah, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't. Y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her. And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come. But just keep our family in your prayers. And I'm going to let Pastor Randall, my bishop, he can pray. I'll get him a microphone. He'll pray out. And if you have anything you want to share as well.
All right. So on the top, doesn't seem too terrible. The only thing that I'll have to say about this, without knowing any other facts, is this guy just preached the message. He was up there being funny, getting everybody. And then he just goes in and says, hey, just got a word last night. My wife, knocked herself off, and I'm going to be gone for a few weeks.
In his defense, he probably, because he knew that was going to, change the whole atmosphere in the room and everything.
Yeah. But as a preacher, there's no way, if my wife committed suicide, that I would be able to preach a message that morning.
No.
No way. And especially to be up there joking and making people laugh. Yeah. It just wouldn't be in my heart, right?
Yeah.
So some facts have come out. Now the church is closed. The website is down. The church's accounts have been frozen. And so some facts have come out. This John Paul, they call him JP, of Solid Rock Church. His wife Micah filed for divorce 2 weeks earlier. And over the last few months, crazy things with her vehicle, like tires have been popped. They found a tracking device on the car, and then things that came out when they got married. She was 19, he was 30 something, divorced with 5 kids. And so they said that she had been groomed since she was 14 by him, and things.
Wait, how old were they when they got married? You just said it, but I missed
19, he was 30, in his 30s.
In his 30s.
Okay, so she was okay.
Yeah, so she was pretty young when this, and so they supposedly he had been grooming her throughout these years, and so ended up divorcing his wife and marrying her right away.
Oh, so he was already married.
He was already married with 5 kids.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this is kind of going on in the background, and then certain things would pop up. She would begin to talk about how he was misappropriating funds. And then every time that she would say something like this, he would send her to a mental hospital. Yeah. Well. And then she's been on record. She's been having this book or whatever, and she's writing all this stuff down. She's like, if I ever, die with a gunshot wound, it wasn't me, it was JP, and just stuff like that.
And how did she die?
With a gunshot wound. Yeah, and so.
How long ago was this?
This was just in the last few days, last week. And so over the last couple days, he's been already seen with another girl.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Anytime one of the people in a relationship, something happens to them, and then they're the one that's still around is immediately with somebody else.
Immediately.
I think it's pride issue.
It's always that they've already been.
It gets deeper.
Okay, go ahead.
It gets deeper. So he starts seeing this new girl Well, this new girl was from the church too.
Ooh,
and
JP.
And the new girl's deceased husband.
Oh man,
was in a wheelchair, and he somehow he was just like paralyzed from the neck down, and somehow he drowned in a swimming accident.
Well, yeah, man, he's paralyzed, bro.
How did he get in the pool?
Why was he in the pool? Oh man,
quote unquote accident.
Did it? It doesn't say, like, there's not a story as to why he was in the pool.
No, that happened 6 or 8 months ago. And then now, I guess it was her turn.
Man.
So at this point, he's not been
convicted of anything.
He's not been convicted of anything.
Charged.
He's not a person in question at this point. But all of these things are... her parents and family members are like, look, we need a deep investigation into what's going on because we have this book and she's been putting everything. And then he said that, the medicine's been hard to get to her, but she's been in these mental hospitals,
Yeah.
So I know. I just think that there's just like.
Did he say she's schizophrenic, or what did he say was the deal?
No, he didn't say she was schizophrenic. He just, every time that she would bring up about her being groomed by him.
But I mean, what was the quote mental illness that she had?
He didn't say. But her note said every time that she would bring something up from their relationship that he would ship her to a mental hospital.
It's tough to say because the people that actually have some kind of schizophrenia or whatever, like, they are living in a delusion, so
right.
It's kind of tough to say, especially not knowing either one of those people. But hearing all those other things, it doesn't look good, man.
It doesn't look good, and this is why when Pastor Caesar talks about people in situations like this young man or this pastor exempt themselves as being in a certain leadership type role, is because of these type of things, like. Man, and I got to be very careful because in my early 20s, I got a divorce, right? So I have to be very careful because I don't want to seem like I'm exempt from a lot of these things. But I wasn't in church. You know what I mean? I wasn't a pastor. I wasn't a lot of what you would call being held to a higher standard through these times. Yeah. So... And I don't know, maybe one day that I'll get to heaven and God would be like, no, you thought you were different, but you're the same. I don't know, but I feel like God's got a calling on my life and he's opening doors and allowing me to walk through them. So maybe. So you can judge that how you want to judge it. But when you allow a pastor, someone with influence and authority and all those things to make these mistakes and you continue to let him lead, I think this is what you get. You get somebody that feels entitled, empowered, that he can just bring little girls in and groom them, and then when he's done with them, allegedly
get the next one.
Yeah, it looks like there's like a pattern of that,
right?
And I just it seems like there's a lot more cons in his situation than pros.
And maybe not. Maybe they'll find somebody else that did this, but at the very least, he's not a good guy.
I mean, again, I haven't met either one of these people.
Right.
But, in the church's defense to what you just said, I mean, I'm sure he was lying to them about what was actually going on. So I'm sure they believed him. They probably saw only the good sides of him. And then when he says, yeah, we got to get a divorce because XYZ, he probably had a good excuse that they bought into.
Did you say he filed for divorce or she did?
She filed for divorce. I don't know about the first marriage.
No,
yeah, that's the one
wait.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But you said that she filed for divorce.
She filed for divorce.
The one that just
she
died.
filed for she filed for divorce. She sued. That was the words of the indictment for what do you call it? Restraining orders. Mm-hmm. Because she was getting like these phone calls of I'm basically going to kill you, and people don't know who those phone calls were from, but they're just assuming that it was that it was him because they were with her when she was getting these phone calls, and she would like refer that it was him that was making these phone calls. So I don't know, man. I think that this is the world that we're living in right now. You know, we're seeing it. We're seeing it not only within the church, like this guy here at this church, but we're seeing it in the world news, like when the Bible talks about that Israel. That Israel's going to have to stand on their own, and now that you're starting to see that America's pulling back from their support of Israel and different things like that, I don't know. I just think that we're kind of seeing like the things in the Bible and all those prophecies and different things like that kind of playing out right in front of our eyes. I don't think it should be a surprise. Yeah, you know, unfortunately,
it's extra sad that this was a thing that happened in a church. I always am extra disappointed. You know, you hear a story like this, assuming that he did actually do all this stuff that is being alleged.
Right.
You know, that's already like a sad enough story and all, but it's always like extra sad when the person in question's like parading around like there's some Christian pastor and all, because it just turns so many people off.
That's what I was telling Sandra. I said, you know, the sad part is so many people are going to be hurt.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people that put their life and sat in a private room with this guy and shared their hurts and their pains and I know from my past that at times I've looked to my pastors to be more than a pastor, to be almost a God. You know, especially when I was younger, I seen them as my God instead of my God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Instead of my pastor, I mean, because I held them to a higher standard, and they should be. I mean, they shouldn't be your God, but they should be held at a higher standard. Yeah. You know, but sin is real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the reality is you're going to have evil people everywhere. You're going to have con men doing con men stuff. You know, it's just extra sad whenever it's related to the church, because then, you know, people that were already turned off by the church just say,
"It gives them." See, I told you so.
Yeah,
yeah. I was driving to the church this morning, thinking about this whole situation. And, you know, I guess you call it prayer. I spend a lot of time just talking and thinking to God. You know, and that's kind of my prayer. I normally don't pray like people pray, like when you think, "Oh, dear Heavenly Lord," no. For me, it's more of a conversation.
It's a back and forth.
It's a back and forth, and it's just, you know, God, you know what I'm thinking right now, and all that is, and I think that, I don't know, I think God respects that sometimes more than He respects you getting all into your, you know, King James language and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not that He don't respect it, but you just gotta be real God, anyways.
He just wants what's on your heart.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I was just like, God, like if I'm ever in a situation to be able to lead from a place like that, like where do I need to protect my heart from? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure, man, when God called this pastor, that he was called from a pure place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but through something, sin took over in his life, and then I started thinking, like, where's that protection that I need? How would I handle the situations with a young lady that would come in, and, you know, all those things, and like putting up your protective walls to my heart so that doesn't happen. And I think that not just as a pastor, but I think that we all need to do that same thing in our lives. And me and you've talked about that through time, and how we really just have to protect what we hear and what we see, and the things that we do and the places that we go and all those things. Because, I mean, the word tells us that, you know, the enemy's out to steal, kill, and destroy. Mm-hmm. And he's not literally trying to do that. Like, he's not trying to take our lives. But in some situations he is, but he's trying to destroy the spirit, you know. And sometimes it's easier to protect. Like I can strap up, and I can carry a pistol and I can protect my family that way. But you can't like physically do something, to protect your heart from the enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that it's I don't know, it's an interesting thought, and I would just challenge everybody out there to analyze what you're doing to protect your spirit. I don't know if I talked about this, but Kanye West just did the whole like now he's saying he is the God and all these things, and and I was thinking about it. I was really thinking about like what happened, what happened from when he was spending millions of dollars doing these like church services and traveling around and really being fed, and I started thinking, like I heard his old pastor talking, and his old pastor was very much of a prosperity preacher. Right? Yeah. And I don't know, if I seen this somewhere or
I seen the same clip, I think, where Kanye's pastor, when he was like a kid, the church that his mom went to, that was a prosperity gospel type preaching, and then whenever he was going through the whole Christ is King thing, that pastor was really like a different kind of pastor. He spoke the truth, and in that clip he even talked about Kanye wanted him to go up on stage and preach, because Kanye was like, I'm not a preacher, I'm a music artist. And the pastor told Kanye, like, you don't want me to go up there. And Kanye asked why. And the pastor told him, because I'm going to preach the truth. I'm going to share the gospel. And that's not a message that everyone is receptive to. And at that point, Kanye was like, no, I don't care. This is what people need to hear. Right. Paraphrasing all of this, of course. But yeah.
Yeah. And then with it, I think that's what I heard. And I began to think about it. So if he was young and he was taught prosperity, and then you go on to have fame and fortune, then your dreams and your prayers are answered, right? Like, okay, like I prayed for this, and here it is. I'm a billionaire and all these things. But then when you pray to get your kids back and your family back together, you reunite from a divorce, and all of that doesn't happen, then you're just like, whoa. Your foundation is shook, because it's all about prosperity. It's not about like, man, walking through some tough times, and even though you're walking through those, God is still with you.
I think that part was hard for him to handle, because like he got used to like exactly what you said, like getting what he wants and praying for something's going to happen. But now it's time to endure, right? It's time to like walk through those trials, and we all get held accountable for what we do. And there's stuff in his life and his ex-wife now where like they were being held accountable for those things, and I don't know the intertwines of why they got divorced or what, but I think he didn't want to be held accountable to that, so he went back to what he knew. Yeah,
and the whole thing was swinging back around there. It was just like through those times, he wasn't protecting his heart. Yeah, he wasn't protecting his spirit, and then he didn't have people in his life like just saying, "Hey, man, this is part of it." We just got to keep walking. And I don't know if there was some, mental health issues there too. I don't know. People. He says he's not mentally ill, but most people that are mentally ill will tell you the same thing. But I don't know. I just think that this is a different world that we're living in. I think that we're worried about AI. We need to be worried about our hearts. Because our hearts are the ones that are getting spoiled.
Yeah. And again, I like, since we're going back to AI, it goes back to the human interaction. Like, we're not made to be alone. We're made to like do this. We're made to not do podcasts, but to be around other people. And it, like, being stuck in your room or in your house watching a basketball game from your Oculus or whatever, like, it's not the same, and that's not what God wants for us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go back to Genesis, right? That's funny that we just started this podcast off that says, we're not here to have a Bible study. And here we are.
Do it. Tell the
But if you go back to Genesis, I mean, Adam and Eve, first of all, he made Eve for Adam, right? Because it says it's not good for man to be alone. And then they were walking with God, right? Because they needed that relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I believe Adam and Eve, and this is just a new thought, and I don't know if I ever even thought about it before, and I shouldn't say I believe, but I've been thinking about Adam and Eve were walking with God, not a spirit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They were walking with God because God told them, like, hey, why are you wearing that? Mm-hmm. If it was a spirit, I think the interaction would have been different. The way it was all when they were sitting there, and he would just like they were talking to him like they were just talking to another guy. Yeah, you know. Yeah. So, and I think maybe when that broke the covenant between man and God, that's when maybe that he went, and now that there's a separation. You know what I mean? Now he's the spirit, and then we're the man. So
yeah. Well, I mean, because
that's deep.
Yeah.
Well, because sin is supposed to be separation from God,
right?
So before they had sinned, that wasn't.
And then you fast forward that to the cross, and he Jesus is like, take this cup from me, right? Because he's bearing the sin, and what is it? The separation for the first time between Jesus and his Father.
Yeah.
Right, so he experienced maybe that same thing that God experienced in the garden. I don't know. I like to do a Bible study on that one.
Yeah,
that'll preach.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that'll preach.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. It's sad, man. It's definitely sad for the people when we talk about pastors like this, and he's just an example of one. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not the only one, but unfortunately, he's the one on the news right now. So,
yeah, that's a good cheery way to end it. I think.
Yeah. So y'all be praying for this lady.
You said the church is shut down right now.
Church is shut down. I mean, there's no way for them to do anything because there's
no pastor.
No pastor. The funds are freezed. The accounts are closed.
No everything. So what? Did you say who froze the accounts? Did the state government freeze it? What?
Yeah, because some of her accusations in her book was saying that there's some misappropriations of funds.
Okay, so it's all okay.
So they're all maybe this is a temporary deal. Maybe the church is not closed, but temporarily they're doing house church or something like that. Yeah.
We could have an update next week on where they're at with all this now.
Yeah, and then more and more stuff are coming out.
These things take months, though. Years to go to trial and. You know what I mean?
I think you'll start seeing some stuff.
There's gonna be a documentary in 10 years about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, some AI Netflix.
There we go. We're kidding, guys.
All right, guys, have a good weekend. We love you.
This is the Refuge Project.